Well, hello everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Schroder, and I'm going to be your instructor for your next course in the program, which is NU 588, Theoretical Foundations and Theoretical Basis of Teaching. I will be posting one of these video introductions each week, usually on Sunday night or sometimes on Monday. And it serves several purposes. One, it will allow me to cover what's going to be covered in that particular week of class, discussing the assignments that are due and previewing the discussion questions. Reviewing a little bit of the information in the class, and then to summarize and to maybe amplify or clarify any of the discussions from the previous week. The feedback that I've received from students has been very positive, and I hope that helps to make this or how the videos help to make it seem like a little bit more of a real class, kind of like if we were in a real classroom. These are the sort of discussions I would be having in the front of the class. And for this first week, I'm not going to spend a lot of time reviewing the syllabus. You can pretty much do that on your own, and I won't take your time with that right now. But I do encourage you to review the syllabus, review the assignments, review the objectives for the course. And for this first week of course, we're going to be discussing in the discussion question a little bit about what is your own personal philosophy of nursing. This is an important question because what a lot of people don't realize is that nursing education is very much like nursing theory. I mean, we have our own theoretical foundations of education, just like the nursing theorists have their own theories. And the theories change and have changed over time as the entire philosophy of what teaching all about has changed. The early theories of teaching focus primarily on teaching children, because of course when you think of being a teacher, you know, if I say what does a teacher look like, most people think of like a elementary school teacher or maybe a high school teacher. And so the early theories of education really focused on teaching children in the classroom. And the idea of having grades, and assigning grades is all really kind of sort of comes from this philosophy that we have to teach children and have to have a way of, measuring and assessing what their learning was. And of course, educational theories have changed because the whole concept of what education is has changed. Education is more than just teaching at the K-12 level and teaching high school students. For example, we have philosophies that deal specifically and strictly with teaching adults. We know that the needs of adult learners are tremendously different than what children's needs are. And so we've come up with educational theories to discuss what those differences are. And we'll be discussing those theories as we move through the course. Part of this first week's discussion is just to discuss a little bit about my personal philosophy. We'll be discussing what some of the specific theories are later through the class, but here at the outset, I'll just let you know I work very much from what's known as a constructivist paradigm or constructivist theoretical framework. What that means is that I assume that you as the students come into this class with a certain base knowledge, and each of you has your own individual needs for learning education. Some of you want to be educators, and that's your specific focus, and I am here to help you to meet those goals and to learn what you need for that particular application of knowledge. For others of you may be more interested in being an advanced practice nurse. Teaching philosophy is a little bit different if you're teaching clinically, and if you're a nurse practitioner, for example, teaching patients or teaching groups of patients. So we'll deal with those theories as well. I'm also very much use the Rogerian philosophy. And the Rogerian philosophy, the Carl Rogers theory of teaching, says that I'm here to learn with you. I'm hoping to learn concepts or learn things that I don't know about, and I want to be an active learner with you in this class. And as you share information, I as an individual, just as a personal individual, and as an educator, I find that teaching really helps me to understand much more about the things that I am teaching about. So it makes me a more well-rounded nurse and a more well-rounded teacher. And so I'm here to be with you in class as a learner as well. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm a student right along with you necessarily, because of course I am still the teacher and I'm going to be responsible for grading your discussions and grading papers. So I do have that sort of an authoritarian role as well. But that uh, my assessment of you is going to be based on how well you learn those concepts and how well you apply yourself throughout the course. That's kind of sort of my basic personal philosophy. I'm very much also a social learner, and I like to foster a social learning concept, and we're all social beings. One of the barriers that we have in online education sometimes is we miss that personal element. So just this video introduction is just a way for me to reach out to you and hopefully develop and foster a more personal relationship within the class. Um, and so that being my basic, as a very general way of introducing what my personal philosophy is, I want you to think about what your philosophies are. And that's where we really start this week's discussion. This week's discussion is that you're supposed to reflect on the different philosophical perspectives, the meta paradigm concept of nursing, and how they jive with, or how they combined with nursing faculty role. There's actually a lot of similarities and a lot of parallels between nursing theory and educational theory. And in fact, right now I'm busy working on writing a paper that talks about how we can combine nursing theory and educational theory, both at the bedside and in the classroom, and coming up with maybe looking at some possibly some hybrid theories. It's an interest that I have. I know that some of you maybe are really turned, when I say theory, it's like, oh gosh, here we go, like nursing theory, and which nursing theories are we going to learn? And I know that not, theory doesn't trip everybody's trigger, so to speak. But I'm hoping that you'll at least be open to understanding that there is a philosophical basis for what we do, and that is pertinent in both teaching as well as in bedside nursing. So that's going to be really the focus of this week's discussion, starting from a very general framework. Your first assignment is that you're going to be looking at this week is going to be your own personal philosophy of nursing education. We will be developing that throughout the course and developing that theme as we develop lesson plans and develop a teaching plan for a specific teaching project that you'll be working on. Let's see, as far as the discussion questions, please note that the discussion responses the initial responses to your discussion questions are always due on Wednesday. Wednesday, it says 11:55, but really Wednesday by midnight. I'm not really big into taking docking points if you are a person, for example, that works night shift and you don't get to post until sometime after midnight, or even by early that next morning. That really is okay with me. I'm pretty flexible on that midnight time, especially if there's any of you on the West Coast. Those of us on the West Coast, and I'm personally on the West Coast, that midnight time on East Coast is 9 o'clock time, our time. So I can work with that with a few hours flexibility time. And then you'll need to respond and react to at least 2 of your peers' posts by Saturday. And then Sunday is kind of an off day for us. And typically I usually do my gradings on Sunday. And usually it's Sunday or Monday is when you'll have your discussion question feedback grading. One thing to keep in mind is that as far as the discussion responses go, although you have to respond to at least 2 of your peers' posts by Saturday, it is expected that you're participating in multiple days, so that your 2 peer posts must be posted on different days of the week. Also, you need to exceed expectations in order to receive full credit. So in other words, to receive 100% credit on a discussion question, you need to participate on different days of the week. So an initial discussion question response, for example, on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then 2 or 3 more responses on, say, like Thursday and Friday or Saturday, whichever. But you have to be in class really a minimum of 3 days a week, because I want to foster and encourage that we have an ongoing discussion of the discussion questions. So it's not just coming in and posting an initial response, checking out of the class for a few days, coming back in and just doing 2 quick responses. Those won't grade as high as students that come in and really have an ongoing discussion and really help to get a good discussion, just like we would have in a regular classroom. That's really what the expectation is, and the kind of class that I really want to foster that kind of give and take. Also included in the course is, you can read my bio and read a little bit about my personal philosophy and my personal how to contact me. Again, I am on the West Coast. I am in the class quite often. So if you post a question, leave at least 24 hours for me to respond. Our Really, our response time, our turnaround time to questions is within 48 hours, but I always try to get a response within 24 hours, usually much sooner than that. Um, if you have any questions that you think may pertain to the class, please post them in the Ask Your Instructor forum and I'll answer them there. If it's one that it's more of a personal nature or something that's specifically just to your particular circumstances, feel free to give me an email. My cell phone number is also posted. You can always try to reach me via email, or excuse me, my cell phone number is posted. You can try to reach me by my cell phone, but that's really kind of as a last-ditch effort. If you have a really burning question and if you need it answered right away, sending me an email will probably get a quicker response. I am available to discuss any of your projects, any questions that you may have. You may go ahead and just leave me a email and I will we can have a video conference like we're having now. I use a variety of different methodologies to be able to do that, or I can schedule a phone conference with you at any time. My basic philosophy is that I want to be available to you and help you and be an active participant with you in helping you meeting your learning objectives. Again, these videos were generally between 8 and 10 minutes. This first one looks like it's going to be around 12 minutes long. Usually they'll be a little bit shorter than this. And I look forward to participating with you in class. Review the materials, review the syllabus. If you have any questions, feel free to respond and let me know. I will be participating in class right along with you and sharing my philosophy and my experience and my expertise as we move along. So I'm looking forward to a great class, looking forward to getting to know each of you, and we'll see you in the discussion forums.